Okay, Oval fans, we are here to talk about last night's episode, Season 3, Episode 10, entitled Checkmate. Let me just say that, similar to last week, I actually enjoyed this episode. I have a video coming out soon, which is going to be, probably something along the lines of Season 3 is trash, but I put a disclaimer in that video saying that I recorded it maybe about 2 weeks ago, but that's mainly because of the fact that the video covered episodes 1 through 8. But episodes 9 and 10 have actually been pretty good. And hopefully the remainder of the season follows the trend of moving the story along. I actually enjoyed this episode a lot. Now, that's not to say some stupid decisions weren't made, but I'm still going to give the episode a 9 out of 10. I really did enjoy it that much. But before breaking it down further, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move closer to 200,000 subscribers. I believe we should be hitting 192,000 subscribers today, if we haven't done so already by the time I post this video. So, like I said, we are closing in on 200,000 fast. Hit the bell icon to select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And follow me on social media. All those links are in the description below. Now, I know on Twitter and in my inbox, a lot of people are like, you know what? I'm just over Donald and Kyle. Like, I'm done. It's stupid. I will admit, I'm not docking points for this because of how evil these two were towards Lily. Because it's funny how, towards the end of season 2, where Kyle was reluctant to quote unquote abduct Max's son, even though at the beginning of this season, Max said that his son is okay. So did that even happen? I don't know. But basically, it's almost like you're trying to give Kyle a heart, like, oh yeah, the fact that he is sad about what Donald did to Dale and everything. It's almost like that stuff went directly out the door in order for him to torture Lily. But basically, remember at the end of last episode, that's when Donald was like, Kyle, glove up. Ooh, is that slang for condom? No, it means kill this bitch. And then he rushes Lily. So this episode picks up, he backhands Lily, who then kicks him below the belt. But then, he roughs her up a bit, throws her against like one of the cabinets in the attic and, just throws her around before he eventually puts her in a chair and handcuffs her, basically restraining her. Now, Lily still kind of thinks that this is somewhat of a game. And I'm like, girl, I saw some people saying, Lily, honestly, after the situation at the White House, she should have never went back home. Like, at the White House when she went to Donald's office and then Alan came in asking if her guest got in okay. And then Donald knew something was up. Lily should have just not went home. But then again, I don't know where she would have went, given the fact that, remember, Bobby got locked up with Max until the vice president showed up. But remember, Lily doesn't know anything. She doesn't know where Bobby is or whatever. But they did call it. Well, what was it? In the last episode, when they were in the van after the vice president got them out of the White House, that's when Lily called to see where he was, but he didn't say where. He just said he made it out safe. So Lily honestly does not know how Bobby got out. So with Lily not saying anything, Donald is like, you know what? Hey, I'm not the one who's going to get the information out of you. It's going to be Kyle. So they start making out, and then he's like, I got to go to the White House. And then basically says, oh yeah, show her what waterboarding is. So Kyle takes over. And that's when Lily's like, hey, so I'm ready to talk. Oh no, this isn't how it works. You had your chance. Next thing you know, so Donald goes downstairs and a phone call comes through and it's Alan, because Alan actually tells Donald that the vice president has been calling one to meet with the president and first lady today. And Donald knows something's up with Alan and asks what's wrong. And he tells him about the whole situation with Ellie, a stray bullet. And, the fact that, obviously he's still at the apartment. And Donald says, hey, before I go to the White House, I'll actually go and stop by your place first. And then I'll go to work. So we go to, and this is messed up. Bobby and Max. Bobby is having like a gut feeling something's wrong since he hasn't heard anything from Lily, because remember, Donald took her gun and then also said, hey, your phone, there's no service. You can't get incoming calls. You can't make outbound calls. So Bobby hasn't heard a damn thing. Max is like, look, we got to get ready to meet with the vice president to go to the White House. But Bobby is going over there. It's like, we got 4 minutes. Yeah, that's enough time for me to get over there. Just tell me how to change your plans. But Max ain't letting his boy go over there alone, so he actually goes with Bobby, and he says, yeah, we'll just tell the vice president something came up, and we'll come right back. So that's cool. I mean, not to mention Bobby is right, but then again, I'm not saying I want Lily to die, but she's really made some mistakes this season that have led up to this, so, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now, we go over to Donald stopping by Alan's place. I'll get to the Barry stuff later. It's not that much to talk about. So we go over to Donald stopping by Alan's apartment, basically saying, hey, I got a report. It says it was just gang violence, and there was a fight right outside of the building. People got arrested. Alan isn't buying it. First of all, I'm thinking to myself, Alan, the First Lady's watching you. She literally confirmed that in the last episode. Secondly, Grit was sent over there. So there's no telling who else could have been over there at some point to plant bugs around your apartment. So the way you're going all saying, I don't buy that, sir. The First Lady did this. And look, can I trust you? Well, Alan, you handle all my personal affairs. So, of course, I can trust you because you can trust me because I trust you. And he pretty much says, I think the First Lady did it. She had somebody kick my ass saying she wanted me to kill Ellie and this and that for having an affair with her husband. Alan, no, Ellie, the president isn't having an affair. I would know. Keep it real with me, sir. No, it's nothing. Look, I will look into this. Here's the report. You take the day off and get your head straight. If I were Alan, I would just use that day to pack up all my shit and get the hell out of town, because you got that little psychopath Jason who's vowed revenge and knows where you live. Yeah, I know he has a rotating guard shift of Alonzo and Grip, but regardless, hey, get out of there. They know where you live. I'm not saying that if you leave, they wouldn't find you, but I know I would just get out of there. It's like, hey, there's nothing for me at this White House. They don't care if they kill people to just cover things up. Let me get out of here before I step on the wrong people's toes. So from there, Victoria actually calls him and, gives her half-assed condolences, trying to be sympathetic, but Alan doesn't want to hear it. I mean, to be honest, the only thing I know he's doing the same thing. I know you did this, ma'am. No, it was gang violence. They even made the arrest. It wasn't me that shot a stray bullet through the window. Yes, it was. My question would have been this, Alan. If I were in Alan's position, I would say, where's my mother? Because I'm just saying, like, if Victoria knew Alan couldn't do it, because I knew you couldn't do it, you're a good boy. Are you coming to the White House today? I want to hug you. Probably, a nod to his messed up ribs and everything. But, I would have been asking, so is my mom home? Because remember, since Alan didn't kill Ellie, it's like, so is my mom okay? But that never came up. So, I guess we are to assume that his mom is completely fine at home making his favorite Italian food? I don't know what Italian food is. Anyway, okay. Regardless, he hangs up on her. Wow, he must have loved that trash after all. So, anyway, let's go over to Richard and Nancy's house real quick. Barry's still upset about the whole situation about Mia taking the money. I did a video on that recently about how the money thing really doesn't make that much sense, even though he did put a few stacks in the nightstand in his room. He carried some stacks in his coat pocket when he went to meet the Rakadushi, and then he put part of the money in a box, but only a few stacks, because underneath he wrapped up a bunch of newspaper and magazine pages with duct tape to kind of weigh down the box. So I guess Mia was sent over there in order to recoup in the missing stack, so to speak. I guess, even though that really doesn't make a lot of sense. But, he just tells Sharon, yeah, tell me I'm stupid. Yeah, I know I'm stupid. But Sharon doesn't really have time to go back and forth due to the fact that she's going to work. Wait, you're going to work after all this? Because Sharon isn't really telling him about what happened at the White House, even though Barry knows something's wrong. But she's like, look, your dad said he'd take care of it, so I'm letting him take care of it. And, before you can make a big deal about going to work, it's like, hey, are you going to pay my bills and, help my sister with the money she needs? Nope, never mind. So Sharon gets dressed and ready to go before, throwing a little jealousy about the whole Mia situation. And Barry does rightfully call her out, like, hey, don't come over here that jealousy bullshit. And that's right. I mean, like, Sharon's just, flip-flopping from Kareem's to Barry's parents. Like, at this point, just go stay with your sister and help her out, because you're really not doing anybody any favors. I mean, sure, she's kind of a slight exposition dump from time to time. Like, hell, if not for her, Barry wouldn't have known that Mia was a Rakadushi member. But I mean, I don't know. I don't hate Sharon, but I don't really like her that much. Not as much as my poor baby Jean, which we will get to soon enough. So let's see here. Richard's heading to work, basically tells Sharon he'll handle what he can. Barry comes downstairs about the money, but before that, Sharon says, hey, I'm going to go back to Kareem's. Wait, is it safe there? Me and Barry really aren't getting along, so it's like, okay, fine, you can go if you want. Because you remember what Richard did last week with the notes and the phones and everything. So after that, Nancy's like, well, maybe it's a good thing that girl came to take the rest of that money to Ruth, because maybe she's going to use that money to escape, given the fact that she begged for help in the hospital. But Barry, he's also pissed yet again. We get pissed Barry. Man, what about Sam? What's he doing? What's Sam doing about the whole situation? And Richard's like, look, I will talk to him when I get to work. So that's really about it. Richard leaves. Barry goes upstairs. Sharon and Nancy are left alone in the kitchen. So back at the White House, Hunter comes in the bedroom and hears the news report about the gang violence and the shooting resulting in Ellie's death. And right as he accuses Victoria, who denies the entire thing, he calls Donald into the room, who happens to be right on the other side of the door. Donald comes in and just says, yes, it was gang violence, sir. I checked into it. I saw the reports. It's legit. And they're trying to identify the exact shooter because they have multiple suspects. Hunter calls them terrible liars and leaves. Donald is still standing in the room and basically tells Victoria, look, you did it and it wasn't clean. Based on the sniper that I know you hired, they'll be able to tell that the bullet and the trajectory of the bullet doesn't match up to where Ellie was shot, along with the kind of gun that the suspect arrested has. So yeah, Victoria obviously took care of this, but of course she's denying it and doesn't really care. Alright, so the vice president actually approaches Hunter as he's walking through the hallway about needing to talk up to him and his wife immediately. But to be honest, this scene is pretty cut and dry. This happens about twice, where the vice president is pleading with the president and then Donald to tell him about a meeting that needs to be done immediately. And Donald's like, hey, I'll work on it. I'll try to get to some schedule for you soon. And then we go over to Richard getting to work. He talks with Sam outside, basically recounts everything about the whole Hunter and Sharon situation. And Sam's like, hey, Richard, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about this. It's way over my head. And then, oh, okay, that's why he brought in Bobby. Wait, Bobby? What do you mean? Yeah, Bobby, I see him in the kitchen the other day. Oh, I don't like this. What? Look, all I can say is this. Tell Sharon to call me if she ever sees Kyle, and tell Barry I can't do anything about Callie right now. And Sam tells Richard, hey, don't say nothing. Yeah, you know me. Fist bump, and then they go to separate ways. All right, so let's see here. The last two things to talk about, really, because I already talked about Victoria calling Alan, is the Richard, Priscilla stuff, the Jason stuff, and then the final scene with the vice president. So let's get to it. Let me just say, I love Priscilla in this episode, mainly because of the times where this is one of the few times this season where her about to blow up actually makes sense. So Richard goes to the kitchen. Priscilla's making breakfast, but he lets her know that Mason's actually going to do it. And right as Priscilla's like, look, what? They still scared I'm trying to kill that bitch? And then Victoria comes in. And thankfully these scenes did not last as long as they did in previous episodes. They last just long enough to, tell the audience, hey, these two still hate each other. Victoria still wants to find out how Priscilla got the power and position she has. Oh, are you sleeping with my dad? Blah, 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 blah. And just says simply, hey, after breakfast, Richard, tell Sam that I want to go on a run, me and him one-on-one. And, Victoria throwing shade in front of Priscilla's face. And Priscilla holds her composure, leaves the kitchen. And I'm like, thank goodness we didn't harp on this for too long. So, not long after leaving the kitchen, we see Alonzo and Jason in his room, because remember, Alonzo's on watch now. Jason's getting ready. Do you like what you see? Blah, 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 blah. You know these people don't care about me, right? Alonzo, no. Everybody does care about you. So it's kind of like, again, a light-hearted kind of scene, even though it's like a psychopathic murderer. But, you know, again, it's like these two aren't in the episode. Well, not Alonzo, but Jason isn't in the episode longer than he needs to be. We're just kind of reestablishing the whole everybody hates me, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not trying to half-ass the review, but let's be honest here. We're, 10 episodes into the season? You know how it goes now. So he gets ready. He doesn't want to be followed, but Alonzo has to take him to breakfast. And they run into Priscilla. And on the way there, oh, good morning, sir. I want breakfast. And this dude is literally Wyatt 2.0. I mean, Wyatt did the same thing in the haves and have-nots. Celine comes up to greet her. Celine, I want breakfast. You could say, please, what would you like? So it's one of those things where, yeah, this is literally Wyatt 2.0, except he's more of a serial killer. But he wants alcohol. He wants vodka, but Priscilla's like, I can get you orange juice, sir, but no alcohol consumption. Fine. Hey, do you know where my sister is, where they took Gail? Look, they keep doing this. This is the equivalent of House of Pain, where Curtis is brought up over and over again, but we never see him. Curtis is at the store. Curtis is downtown. Curtis is asleep. Okay, you're acknowledging this character exists, but when are we going to see them? Where's my sister? They said they took her away. Hey, Priscilla, if you knew where she was, would you tell me? Of course, sir, but is there something that you could help me with? What is it? Tell me, what happened to Jean? She's dead. What? I know that. I killed her. Jason? How exactly did you do it? And the more she's asking questions, Alonzo's like, Priscilla, Jason, I think we should go to breakfast. Not now, Alonzo. Oh, okay. So Alonzo just backs off, and I wanted to wring his neck here, but he's like, I raped her, and then I strangled her to death. I put the body under my bed, and Priscilla's like, well, wait, what happened? What happened to the body? My parents took care of it. They took care of everything. So, can I get my breakfast now? Yes, sir. No alcohol, though. And then, Alonzo says, and then he's like, come on, Alonzo. And then Alonzo looks at Priscilla, and then he just walk off. And this, again, one of the few times I feel like Priscilla's outbursts were handled well, because we're finally seeing her focus more on something aside from the Victoria and Sam affair. She's like, I finally know what happened to my friend. So she rushes to the kitchen to tell Richard, saying, we need to call this in. And then he just so casually is like, look, I know we've been working with the CIA. And I was like, what? I'm like, damn, okay, we're actually getting somewhere with this storyline. So they're working with the CIA. Apparently they've been getting paid money on the side for years. I think to call anything in, like if they get any kind of dirt on the acting first family or any kind of crookedness going on in the White House, they should call it in so the CIA can step in and do their job. However, they've never had to do it before. I mean, hell, even Richard said, I've never wanted to do this. I never wanted to work with them. But, I guess the money must be hella good, which could explain a few things. Because remember back in like season 1 when, it was found out that Picky was actually Nancy's son. Look, I don't remember if that was season 1 or season 2. It's been such a long time. But regardless, cause I'm like, yeah, Nancy always giving all that money to her sister. So Richard is the only one who's working, but they don't have any savings. So I'm like, yeah, after Richard got shot and was in the hospital, how the hell are they going to pay for that stuff? So yeah, apparently, they're getting paid good money on the side. And Richard, he doesn't want to call it in. And he just feels like something just doesn't seem right about it. It's not necessarily that he believes Jason was lying, because how did he say it? He looked me dead in the face and told me, Richard, I know he wasn't lying. And you could argue from Richard's perspective that, Priscilla might be over exaggerating, given how everything she's been doing this season has been over the top. But I am on her side. However, sometimes you got to look at the facts instead of the feelings because of the situation. I mean, Richard says, look, between the GOP, the cabinet, all these powerful departments are in the president's pocket. So if we go to the CIA, the odds are going to be against us. So from there, he just tells, Priscilla, look, just please hold it together. Fine. And again, one of the few times I'm on the side of Priscilla, or at the very least, I can understand her feeling the way she's feeling now. So, she kind of like Alan, who I said needs to just up and leave town and get the hell out of there. I feel like Priscilla just should have took the rest of the day off, because It's sad. I mean, it really is sad. And that, I mean, this is what I want to see, Priscilla learning this kind of stuff. Yeah, I do feel like it was a bit dumb to have her just get the answer directly from Jason. Just like that, as opposed to her doing research. Kind of like, well, is she ever going to the hospital again to check on the camera in the ceiling, which shows people who go in and out of a certain part of the hospital, which would show her that Kyle was the person that went to see Miss Laura and ended up killing her. And then also, you know, what about her finding out Kyle killing Denise? It's just one of those, Diane. You know, it's just one of those things where we see Richard and Priscilla working with the CIA. Hell, I'm not saying I want a full-on spin-off, but I wouldn't mind maybe a few episodes just seeing these two doing their job, or maybe even getting like a flashback episode, just kind of learning how this all started, because this is interesting. This is the kind of stuff I've been wanting to see from the Oval for quite some time, or should I say for the past couple months, as opposed to the same characters going over. No, I don't care about the Sharon Kareem Barry crap. Let's talk about the damn people in the White House more. Okay, so to round out the episode, again, the vice president is hounding Donald about meeting with the president, and Donald's like, this isn't a good time because, you know, Hunter's on edge about the Ellie thing. He knows Victoria has something to do with it. Victoria, well, she just doesn't give a damn about anything right now. But Donald goes in and talks to the president, and pretty much, it shows us how little Hunter even thinks of his vice president whatsoever. He's corny. He's a clown. He goes to all the cabinet meetings. Who cares? But he's like an Abercrombie model. It's like ridiculous. And he's so stupid. Victoria steps in there as well and basically joins in on the party about how the vice president is a clown. So Donald's like, look, sir, let's just meet with him. Give him a couple minutes and he's good. The second lady isn't with him, so this should be quick. Vice president comes in. We don't shake hands. Okay. And they literally, the dude comes in there and they start roasting him like a damn Thanksgiving turkey. He just steps in and is like, you know, I should have picked a woman as my partner for vice president. Well, sure, dear, but if you did, you probably screw her too, now that she's old as you. And the dude just sits down and they literally roast his ass. Oh yeah, I know what this is about, because first of all, they're hoping that it's him coming in to resign. But basically, they just say, you know what, it's a shame. All you had to do was just sit around and do nothing. Just go to a few meetings, enjoy the free ride. But I feel like you got into something over your head. Now you're crying for help. You don't have the balls. And even though I thought this was incredibly stupid for him to go in here and directly tell the president what his plans were, given the fact that with the acting press secretary now dead, I'm pretty sure that if the vice president had a press conference and basically told everything he knows, there wouldn't be anyone at the moment in Hunter's corner or Hunter's team that could actually handle the press. Diane's dead. Ellie's dead. Who's going to do the job? So if he would have set the fire to this stick of dynamite and threw it at the president and first lady, this would have blown up. But instead, I will admit, this was a badass move. It's like he's just sitting there for 3 minutes getting torn apart, roasted. But he's like, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell about Diane, the maid, Jean, all the different cover-ups, you know, the mattress from that woman that was found at the boutique. He literally goes down the laundry list of all the various things from Yuma to Max, basically saying, hey, if you don't resign, I'm going to go to the press and ruin your effing life. Is that enough balls for you? And then the episode ends. It was a great ending, but like I said, if the vice president would have went directly to the press, I feel like things probably would have went better in his favor. At the moment, I have not seen the preview for next week because it hasn't been released yet, at least on social media, so I can get it. So I will say yes. Overall, I did enjoy the episode. It had a couple of bumps along the way, but I feel like if the Oval, the first 8 episodes, were even as half enjoyable, if the first 8 episodes were even half as enjoyable as episode 10 and episode 9, I would be saying, damn, the Oval is on fire. But, you know, I just hope it keeps up this momentum, because if it does, I can wholeheartedly say that season 3 of the Oval is miles and away better than Sister season 3. But I will say, though, unlike Sister season 3 at least we didn't have to wait until like, almost 20 episodes in to get some halfway decent episodes. So the Oval, I hope you keep doing well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think a 9 out of 10 is too high of a score? I was thinking an 8, but between the Gene reveal, the CIA stuff, the vice president, telling off the president, even though, well, yeah, seriously, if he would have done it now while, the president is pissed off, he would have been screwed. Who knows? But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.